Stavati's been a ghost ship, 20 years of empty claims, with hangars full of garbage and dreams that never came. Now he's fishing for new suckers to store more junk inside, while promising his gullible fans hover cars and free energy rides.
We are working on anti-gravity. As soon as we get financed, which again is coming very soon.
Divine insights were handed down, but now they cost a fee. In the wacky world of Wilcock, that's the way it's gotta be. Financial resets, debts erased, a world so fair and bright. The alliance never came, and neither did his wife. The wacky world of Wilcock, where make-believe is real. It's the wacky world of Wilcock, where make-believe is real. Just buy my course, $300. Enlightenment's the deal. In the wacky world of Wilcock, where make-believe is real. Extraterrestrial pals, they're coming here to stay. Disclosure's always just around, but aliens delay. Law of one, the Bible, Bhagavad Gita, all mixed up in one. David's stealing from the best, but his fans think it's a brand new one. Plagiarizing profit, that's his favorite routine. In the wacky world of Wilcock, where nonsense reigns supreme, we'll all get rainbow bodies, whatever that might mean. And Jesus is an alien, the wildest thing you've seen. David's on a hero's journey through dimensions far and wide. Draco reptilians know where he lives, so in his mansion he must hide. Catastrophes and end times, we're on the brink, he said. But my coffee's brewing nicely, and I'm still in my bed. The wacky world of Wilcock, where make-believe is real. It's the wacky world of Wilcock, where make-believe is real. Just buy my course, $300. Enlightenment's the deal. In the wacky world of Wilcock, where make-believe is real. No one's suffering like David in his mansion grand and tall, with bison, steak, and chicken. He's the loneliest of all. His teeth are fake as his prophecies, and courses that he sells. In the wacky world of Wilcock, he's ringing all the bells.
If we bathe in our own urine, we can gain superpowers. Doing the bath does help. Or you urinate before you get into the bathtub, and then you drink new water out of a glass, and when you're in the bathtub, you can do a little more.
Buy my course, $300. Enlightenment's the deal. In the wacky world of Wilcock, where make-believe is real. His PowerPoint slides are packed with schizophrenic rants, forced to stream on YouTube now, bankruptcy's a stance. Stavati Aerospace, a Ponzi scheme they say. So pay pigs better pay up, or like Corey Good he'll stay. So many dates, so many dreams, none of them come true. But hey, don't fret, just buy the course and I'll enlighten you.
For God's sake, take the deal, okay? But you have to take the deal and you have to cooperate. Rise, rise, rise. And you feel yourself, kinetic energy of levitation, tingling across your skin.
In 2012, we'd all ascend, a cosmic shift was due. But here we are in 24, and nothing much is new. Mass arrests and cover busts, beliefs should quake in fear, yet they're still here, sipping wine. And we're all stuck right here, in a world of greer and good, crush and loot. With their claims, nobody tops David Wilcock, with his fringe and wacky games, while they're sharing UFOs and theories kinda tame. David's got aliens who wanna sleep with him and eat him, what a shame. He's the master of the bizarre, with rainbow bodies on display. In the wacky world of Wilcock, where nonsense leads the way. So here's to Dave, the shyster bold, with tales so far-fetched and grand. In his world of make-believe, where fantasy's second-hand, he spins his fairy tales and lies between his YouTube streams, for his cat crystal ladies who gobble up his dreams.
David, I know you could use the $20 billion. Well, I couldn't. But, I mean, I would use it if I had it. But, I mean, this is for the company. And yes, don't worry about the next generation air defense contract from the Air Force going to them. Our product is very competitive. In fact, it's better. This, again, is the SM-39. It goes Mach 4. Apparently, the F-47 only goes Mach 2. And it's more maneuverable. It's got everything about it is the next. So we're actually calling this a 7th generation. They've had the 6th generation flying around for a while. 5 years, supposedly. Okay, that's fine. But this is the 7th generation. So anyway, what about the F-47? Well, that's what I just said. They did get the contract. But again, you know, we have a clearly competitive product, and we're not trying to say that they shouldn't develop that. Let's go ahead and develop that. But apparently, they're not going to have them ready until 2029, so it won't take any longer than ours would. So yeah, the choice is pretty clear to me that we're still going to get our stuff into development. It's going to be a big deal. It's just not going to come out through that particular avenue. But actually, on the company front, we've had really, really great things going on. There's been some stunning developments that I can't talk about. But basically, at this point, it looks like it's pretty much guaranteed that we're going to get, I don't know, maybe as much as 6B. I mean, that could happen. There might even be 2 or 3 of those that might pop up. But it's gotten more interesting. It's gotten more fun. We're very close to the finish line now. We've got all different sizes of investments that we're vectoring in. Everything from, you know, the 10 million range to the 200 million range up to the $1 billion and beyond. So they're all kind of coming in at the same time. It's a very exciting time. Chris is very, very busy. I hope that we can get him out more and talk about our products more. We're going to do another video. We're going to do another video about one of our other jets. We actually film video for like 6 different products. So we're going to start trying to develop them. Neil Hinckley says, David, you are as cute as ever. Thank you, sweetie. Thank you so much. Oh my God. You know, if a man tells you you're cute, then you're definitely getting into the gaydar zone. So we'll just honor the gaydar zone and... What the hell? I mean, I think it's funny. That's the funny thing. I grew up in New York State. I had it all around me all the time. And it was like the gay Olympics to see who could be the gayest guy on campus. And there was a group of theater majors that were fighting for that. And there was one guy with blonde hair, and he definitely had it, man. He was able to get the voice to go up into his nasal passages. When you get it up in here, up in your nose, and he was just... It made me, I mean, 4 years, I saw this going on. So I do have a soft spot for that kind of comedy. But anyway. Right? There, I did it, okay? I did it. Tranpa. It's Tranpa. It's kind of the fusion of Tranma and Angry Papa. So we're going to call her Tranpa. Anyway, somebody did give me these glasses. It's a little bit late for it, but I want to acknowledge, you know, that Christian Colon, how do you feel about Boeing being awarded the next-gen fighter contract? That's fine. I mean, ours is better, and I just hope that our design doesn't get held back because of that contract happening. But it's definitely going to get made, and we've already flown it in flight simulators. We know that it works with...
David Wilcock is lying again. Decades of fakery he can't defend. David Wilcock is lying again, but karma always has its revenge. Fake insiders and secret space lies, fake bullshitters I try to disguise, fake stories I sell to the weak, Fake stories, I just repeat. David Wilcock is lying again. Decades of fakery he can't defend. David Wilcock is lying again, but karma always has its revenge. Fake stories, that's all I got. Fake stories, I hope you forgot. Fake stories, my history of lies. Fake stories, open your eyes. David Wilcock is lying again. Decades of fakery he can't defend. David Wilcock is lying again, but karma always has its revenge. Fake stories, my history of lies. Fake stories, open your eyes. Fake stories, my history of lies. Fake stories, open your eyes. My history of lies. Fake stories, always open your eyes. David Wilcock is lying again. Decades of fake lie he can't defend. David Wilcock is lying again, but karma always has its revenge.
Greetings and salutations, friends, and welcome back. Tonight is going to be a little different because it's a little last minute. For those of you who tuned in yesterday, we had one of the craziest True Seeker shows ever. I highly encourage you to check that out. We were covering an old case of mine, the strange case of Sarah R. Adams, who is basically like the female grifter version of David Wilcock. However, things went a little off the rails because her and her cult members were watching the stream and sort of seething and freaking out. And I had forgotten that ages ago she was given my cell phone number in order to arrange an interview. Originally, I was supposed to do one show talking about her claims and then one show interviewing her, but she didn't show up for the interview. So last night she had her fake lawyer call, which actually turns out wasn't the fake lawyer. It was someone else, one of her other simps. And we have his name now, so we know who that was. It wasn't even the fake lawyer guy who she's getting to send people angry lawyer letters, even though he's not even a lawyer. It was another guy. And if you tuned in yesterday, you know, then some crazy crystal hippie bitch called in to call me a misogynist because I'm, me and another man are making trouble for a woman just trying to make a living. Well, she makes a living telling terminal cancer patients that she can heal cancer. So pardon me if I'm not very sympathetic to that bitch. Pardon my French. And so then she demanded, I think she butt dialed me. They went to the police station to try to get this former manager of hers in trouble. And then they sort of butt dialed me, and they weren't saying anything when I said hello on the phone. So we just sort of broadcast her talking to these two police, talking about she's forwarding files to Interpol and there'll be international arrests and, kind of the crazy like David Wilcock getting me arrested. So she is, well, that's good to know. Last minute Lacey is here and says, Stephen, I just shaved my legs for spring. Oh, God. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of hairy women, man. I never have been. I don't believe I've ever had one of those girlfriends who like didn't shave her legs in pits. It's okay if you forget for a little while, but I always know it's almost time for happy time when my wife is shaving her legs, though. She likes to be fresh, when it's happy fun time. But good for you, last minute Lacey. Get that winter off, right? And Tales of the Sonic Voyage is here, who says, let's get the ball rolling here with a kind and generous $5 super chat. We have a goal tonight of 50 super chats of 5 or more. I would appreciate the support. And we, of course, have our cash clown to thank every single individual who throws some support our way. Thank them, Davina.
Praise the cash, praise the cash, praise the cash. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your generosity. Praise the cash, praise the cash.
Yeah, praise the cash. Well, report that fake lawyer to the PA disciplinary board, says Garaji. Well, he doesn't live in PA. I believe he lives in Washington State or New Mexico. I don't even know. I have to find the original letter that he sent me, you know. But yeah, so she's got a fake lawyer. Then she's also got a, some crystal hippie bitch that she's grifting with, scamming people for money for psychic stuff. So long story short, after she butt dials me from a police station, telling the cops all about me and how, terrible I am for doing my job, reporting what was going on with her, she came in the live chat. At least it looked like her. Sarah R. Adams was the name. She demanded that I let her on the show, but at this point we'd already been going for 5 hours. So I said, I'll bump the show that I had planned for tomorrow. I will give you 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you could come here and tell your side of the story. To which she replied, I confirm, I'll definitely be there. She emailed me, let me on the show, give me a date and time, and I'll be there. I gave her the date and time today at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So today it was suggested to me by her former manager that might not have been her, or she's not going to show up. So I got her original cell phone number that I had, or whatever. I got her cell phone number, and I wrote, please confirm your participation as a guest on Truth Seekers tonight at 7 p.m. This was at like 10 a.m. today, Eastern Standard Time, and let me know what email you want me to send the show invitation link to. And by the way, I don't know that we could see this. These are real text messages. I'm not making anything up. She says, and remember, she said, let me on the show, give me a date and time. I'm simply, as a show host, messaging her, please confirm that you're going to be here tonight. Because I didn't want to be sitting here with my dick in my hand, like, what am I supposed to do? She's not here. She's not showing. Which was a good idea, to be cautious of her, because she bailed on the last interview because she's a coward and she cannot face scrutiny or be confronted with reality. Reality, like her superpowers are not real. So she sends me a message back and says, I suggest that you immediately stop harassing me. The police will be listening to your show now and taking notes. I wrote back, you asked me to come on my show. I'm just trying to confirm. I guess you're not going to make it. And then I said, great. If the police will be listening on my show, I'm going to be talking a lot about consumer fraud and fake psychics. And this is where it gets crazy. She texted me like a book, like, all these pages. You're aiding a criminal. She's referring to her former manager. You're also releasing personal information. I did not release any personal information. If it's legal to, and her manager gives me that, I'll release it. But we always check with lawyers before we do something like that. She says, there's a list of other criminal activities you're also carrying out on me, which I assure you that you will be held accountable for. Now, remember, this is the same fake psychic girl who's threatening me and other individuals with a fake lawyer, sending fake lawyer letters. He's not a real lawyer. She says, you're stalking and harassing me and have had people who asked for me to be murdered on your show. You know very well what you're doing. It doesn't matter what you think. It's illegal to push people to murder your target. I don't even know what she's talking about, except maybe I had this Lauren Pritchard crazy bitch on, who's just as crazy as Sarah, who once said something about cutting her head off. But I didn't say that shit. I don't know. I'm currently filing a protective order on you, and it's clear that my ex-business manager is going to jail at some point now, and you're aiding criminals. The police have all the evidence, and it's clear you're both also accessing my company's private files for the exploitation of, which is criminal. He is aware I have a heart issue. And again, remember, this girl claims to be an intuitive psychic healer. She has a heart condition. Why doesn't she heal her heart condition if she can heal, people with her superpowers? But it is what it is. I'm not supposed to be stressed currently. It's clear that the both of you have physical harm intent towards me. You in the past encouraged people to murder me, and he is aware of this. The police in the UK are also taking action as I type this. I have been made aware that you own a little house, and I'm going to take you in court. I'm going to take you to court for damages, and that's the tip of the iceberg of what you'll be facing legally. I have all your information for the lawsuit. Like, come on. What are you really that dumb, you stupid bitch? You're going to take me to court? And what are you going to say? I went on the internet and I dared to say that you can't open stargates. You can't talk to aliens and angels. You can't heal people. You can't shrink cancer cells and heal terminal cancer patients. What do you think a judge and a jury is going to say? You dumb new age bitch. Do you really think they're going to side with you? Scamming terminally ill people? Remember, I still have the tapes of sending a fake cancer patient to you. You told him you were healing. You told him that you were shrinking his cancer cells with your superpowers. And this is the kind of stuff you take money from people for. And I have simply gone on the internet and expressed my free speech rights and my rights of expression in saying that, in my opinion, you're scamming people and you can't really heal people with your fake superpowers, nor can you take people up through a Stargate to a spaceship and give them a medbed session. But you sold that for what? $250 too, right? And her latest scam is now you get weekly contact with extraterrestrials, and it's just $22,000. She's going to sue me, though. I have all the evidence of what you did previously. And this is why the cops know this is very serious. And this is where this girl is literally crazy. You and your co-host pressured people to come murder me. What you're doing now is trying to prove why I should be murdered. And it's clear you're trying to get some unwell person who watches your show to cause me physical harm. Last time the FBI got involved. This time I'm making sure you're held accountable. Like, this girl lives in a delusional fantasy world. She's getting the FBI after me. She's getting Interpol involved. Interpol is international police, by the way. FBI is federal American police. I said, make sure you tell the police when you talk to them that you charge people money to talk to aliens. I saw your new scam. I do not now, nor have I ever had a co-host. All I ever did is expose your scams. Good luck getting me arrested for that. I'm a journalist. Tell your fake lawyer to look up the journalism shield laws in the state where I live, which is Pennsylvania. She says journalists don't host criminals and talk about releasing private information. They also don't encourage people to be murdered. I'm sending all of this to the police. I could claim I'm a horse. That doesn't give you the right to do what you're doing, which is criminal. I just wrote back, Sarah, get real. I have never and I would never encourage anyone to cause anyone any harm. No, Sarah, what you do is criminal, and if you persist on your course, then I'm contacting the state attorney general of your home state, and I will show them all of your scams. You are not silencing me with a fake lawyer and threats of getting me arrested for doing what journalists do. Report stories. That's all I do. And then she says, now you're lying. You know very well why you were served the first time. I wasn't served, you dumb bitch. Your fake lawyer sent me a letter in the mail. That's not being served. Nobody served me. You sent me a letter, which, by the way, I kept a copy of. But the original letter she sent me, I wiped my ass with it, and I sent it back to the guy. Let me see. That's why you were served the first time. You did a show where you encouraged a woman who said I needed to be murdered. You clearly are running from this. However, I have the records, which now the police have. I said, do not contact me again. Don't text me again. Don't email me again. You are a new age scammer and a criminal, and I will continue to expose you every chance I get. Best of luck to you. You may also want to pay your income tax because Taj, your manager, says you haven't paid your income tax for the last 10 years. He said, shall we talk about how she asked for my head to be chopped off? I don't even know what she's talking about, but sounds like something that lawyer Lauren Pritchard crazy bitch would say, who I think that's who she's referencing here. And just to be clear, anybody that knows me knows I would never support or condone anyone even issuing threats of violence, let alone encouraging violence against somebody. I said, take that up with her. I didn't say that or encourage it. We're done here. Don't contact me. Then she said, Taj, her manager, stole over $1 million from me. And he was supposed to be paying this, by the way. So the manager was supposed to be paying the income tax. Yes, you did. It's in the records. Your own monitor was mad about it. I don't know what she's talking about. Maybe she's talking about a chat room moderator. She said monitor or something. I don't know. So, of course, she's backing out like the cowardly little girl that she is. She talks real big. I'm going to sue you. I'm getting you arrested by the FBI. Well, why don't you just do an interview and we'll clear all this up? Just do an interview and we'll clear up. You could tell your side of the story. And I gave her my word. I was going to be respectful. Last minute Lacey with $2 Canadian says hairy legs attack. Yeah, that. You know how David Wilcock is allergic to vaginas? I'm not. I love vagina. It's one of my favorite things on earth. God put it here to make men happy. But I am kind of allergic to really hairy leg women or like women that are like, just hairy. It's just a turn off for me. So good to know, last minute Lacey. Things you need to know about me. That's TMI. Railroad bum with one for the goal. Steven, you felt it that future lolcow last night. Excellent work, my friend. Yeah, and because she pissed me off threatening to get me arrested again, I am going to continue to cover her. And what we're going to do is we're going to get aggressive and we're going to contact the state attorney general of her home state. And remember that I have a deal with a Washington-based DC newspaper. And we're going to write a story and we're going to ask for comment from the state attorney general. How is she allowed to scam people the way that she's been getting away with for years? How is she allowed to tell people, give me $22,000 and I'll make sure you talk to aliens every week? How is she able to do that legally? How is it not consumer fraud? And by the way, I'm not trying to slander or damage her business or I'm just asking questions here. But I think these are important questions that somebody should be asking. If this crazy crystal hippie bitch who claims she has superpowers is taking $22,000 from people and not delivering what she's promising, that is literally the technical textbook definition of consumer fraud. But thank you, Railroad Bum and Cave Teeth with one for the goal. What's wrong, Sarah? It's almost like you don't even want to come on the show and get felted, bitch. Yeah, it's like she doesn't even want to get felted. She's ruining the feltoning. She's ruining the feltoning, Cave Teeth, but thank you for that. Alchemist 372 with a kind and generous $10 and one for the goal says, suffer, Sarah, suffer. Yeah, suffer. Jim Bob with a kind and generous $20. Love you, Steve. I am shifting over to the night shift, so I might not see many lives. Well, that's what the replay crew is for. Sounds like this chick is mad. You blew up the grift. Burn it down, baby. Cheers. See you soon, folks. Well, thank you, Jim Bob, for your kindness, generosity, and support with a very generous $20 super chat. And we've got AXZ042 with one for the goal. Remember, they have to be 5 or greater to go for the goal, but we appreciate everyone and we read everyone. We'll be reading the Kick subs and the Kick gifted subs, the PayPal pledges, the people buying me a coffee. We love to recognize all the support. AXZ042, Sarah, just because someone in the chat said you got felted doesn't mean it's an unalive threat. Yeah, exactly. I agree with you. I don't wish her any physical harm or other harm. I just wish that she would stop scamming people out of money for fake shit. Ratioed every day with a kind and generous 5. This person sounds coconuts. Maybe she has hairy legs. She's like a crystal hippie bitch. She's probably got hairy legs and a hairy coochie, real hairy coochie, like full on 80s bush. That's what I mean, I'm just guessing. I don't know. I've never seen the girl's vagina, nor do I want to. But if I had to take a guess, I would say full on 80s bush. You know, like a full big bush. That's what I think, right? Because them crystal hippie bitches are not much into hygiene, you know? But you never know. You know, she could have the landing strip. She could have the total shave. I don't know. I remember the progression, you know? So we want to take a moment to thank all of you kind and generous benefactors. You're helping us to praise the cash.
Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. The blue chickens command you to praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash.
The blue chickens command you to praise the cash. So yeah, I guess that'll catch us up to the Sarah R. Adams drama. But if you haven't seen yesterday's show, I clipped a little bit. Follow me on Twitter, X at Stephen Cambion. I clipped a fake lawyer confronting her fake lawyer. You know, a guy calls me up like issuing legal threats, and he's just one of her simps. And by the way, I know for a fact that there's like a lot of men that follow her, and they'll do anything she wants in the hope that someday they'll get near the vajayjay or she'll give them some. She has manipulated so many men who later contacted me, you know, because they're butthurt, like, oh, my simping didn't work. And finally she told me where to go and whatever. Oh, here we go. We're going to take more. What you're doing is assault. I sent you a cease and desist order that you have broken. You also got my number, and you are all my business. I suggest you leave me alone. No, Sarah, I told you not to contact me again. I'm a journalist, and I'm doing my job, and I'm reporting. People want to know why you didn't show up. Why don't you stop hate watching? I can send a link to that email, and you can join right now. You can say whatever you want to say. In fact, I'm going to do that. I'm going to send a link to her right now so she could stop texting me and seething, and she could just join the show. She could say whatever she's going to say. Just give me one moment. Let me get over to my email. I'll send her the link. I don't think she has the balls to join because she's a coward. And she lives in a delusional fantasy world. She doesn't want to be confronted with reality. And that reality is that she doesn't help people for a living. She scams people for a living. She doesn't help anybody but herself. Here we go. Here is the link. Link to join the show. And then I've got a thumbnail. I can change the thumbnail and the title to the show. Feel free to join, Sarah, but I'm going to turn my phone off, and I'm not going to be taking harassing text messages from you. Seethe all you want, bitch. Are you seething right now? Are you angry? Man, why don't you just use your psychic superpowers to make me suddenly lose my voice, right? Why don't you like psychic vampire me and suck out my soul and kill me remotely with your psychic superpowers? Since you're such an enlightened, evolved being, you know, at some point this stuff gets ridiculous. I'm here saying that some girl on the internet who is scamming people with fake superpowers doesn't have superpowers. She says I'm harassing her because I'm saying that she doesn't have superpowers. Jim Bob with a kind and generous 5 says to be continued, laugh out loud. Yeah, this is one of those things. And ratioed every day with 5 and 1 for the goal as well. She didn't like all that bush talk. Yeah, she's probably self-conscious about that big hairy bush of hers. You know, what are you going to do? MDD is a bitch says, suck out my soul too. Yeah, well, so we do have a little problem though, and that is so today I'm covering Wilcock, but it's really bad. Like he seized on that fake pyramid shit. And by the way, a lot of people are asking me about the pyramid thing. So here's what I'll say. There is currently technologically no LiDAR, radar, whatever kind of sonar system that can give the level of detail that these people who are pushing this, what I think is a fake conspiracy, pyramid conspiracy, there's no technology that can show that level of depth at those depths, that level of detail, at those depths. So I think that the excitement about this so-called pyramid discovery is largely misplaced. And in time, we're going to find out that it was overhyped and over sensationalized, and it's really not a big deal, right? So we're going to get into his stream today. Maybe we'll go over and snipe his stream. And by the way, if we hit our goal tonight, we're going to start going through some of the videos that her former this psychic Sarah R. Adams, her former manager, gave me every video from her YouTube channel. And so we've got a huge treasure trove of her bullshittery that we could go through and laugh at. If we hit the goal tonight, we'll be going through a Sarah R. Adams interview and laughing our asses off at this crystal hippie bitch. Jim Bob with $5 Canadian won for the goal. Sarah, Steve has a job. That job is to cover people that scam. You do care about others' well-being, right? Good point, Jim Bob. And thank you for defending good journalists, right? What are you going to do? There's nothing we can do but have Davina thank you for helping us to praise the cash, and thank all you supporters.
Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your generosity. Praise the cash. Praise the cash.
Yeah, and actually, now that I think about it, I think that Sarah kind of pissed me off. So maybe we'll make a cash clown of her, right? But we're going to have to do some improvements because, yeah, we'll do some improvements. We'll clone the voice, and we'll have a Sarah Cash Clown Crystal Hippie bitch to thank the supporters, right? That's what I think we'll do. So I'm going to put my fair use banner up, and we'll begin to. I forgot too how crazy this girl is when I decided to do another show on her. Like, this is what she did last time. She claimed for a year or more. She's telling everybody that would listen she's getting me arrested and I'm a criminal and all this stuff. Listen, this is the same tactics that they all use. If you come and confront their delusional fake shit with reality, they get so angry that you're shattering their fake little world, their echo chamber that they live in, that we've seen the tactics. Corey Good did it. David Wilcock did it. They start throwing around accusations like you're a child predator, you're a criminal, you're doing criminal things, you're a Satan worshiper. They're just trying to discredit the person telling the truth because they know they're scumbag liars, right? They know they're scumbag liars. So they don't have a defense for what they're doing, scamming people. So instead, they go, well, we don't have a defense for this. So what we're going to do is we're just going to try to shoot the messenger, make the messenger look like a terrible person, so nobody believes the truth that they're telling, and I don't have to defend my lies to the public. Yeah, somebody mentioned she's afraid. They're very afraid. They're very afraid. When you make your living lying to people and somebody comes along and tells everybody the truth, yeah, Sarah R. Adams, they get upset. Sarah Adams Cash Clown, love it. I'll start working on that right away. There's plenty of material. I guess you can add that to my list of criminal offenses. By the way, a comedic parody is not a criminal offense, Sarah. Just letting you know that. I'm allowed to make fun of you all I want. I can talk about your big hairy bush, about your big fat ugly blowjob lips that you pay money to get big ugly blowjob lips. Congratulations. About all that terrible plastic surgery you had, about that weight gain and how fat you're getting. I'm allowed to make fun of you, right? I'm allowed to make fun of you. Arlene Atkins says, I think she is mentally damaged. Yeah, so do I. I mean, you'd have to be how do you live with yourself lying to people, right? And by the way, Sarah, we could bring Terry Joyce on here, who talked to your little friend that used to work for the Kevin Moore show. You remember her, the girl that actually did the psychic readings that you were charging people big money for. And what was it? You would charge people like $2,000 for an in-person psychic reading, and then you would just give this girl $50 to write it for you. You remember that? You want me to broadcast that? Maybe I could get an interview with that girl that used to write the psychic readings for you for $50, and then you greedily kept $2,000? Maybe we'll do that, Sarah. All right, so we've got our fair use banner up. Let's get into these pathetic. So I was saying there's a problem. The problem is that David Wilcock's stream today is so pathetic. I can't work with this. I just can't work with it. It's so bad. It's so pathetically bad. He's been talking about this fake pyramid shit for like 3 hours because he's a moron and he doesn't know how to read like real science, news coverage places. So he just thinks that pyramid shit's all totally real, and he's having like a conspiracy gasm on his show right now. But we'll see what we could do. Oh, here we go again. Here we go again. Here we go again. Now she's saying that I'm religiously discriminating against her. Oh, God. I'm in my lawyer's friend's house here right now, and what you're doing is assault. Yeah? Send me the statutes, you dumb bitch. Have your fake lawyer send me the statutes that says making a YouTube video making fun of somebody is assault, you dumb bitch. How about you do that? This is what she told me. She also said, you are attacking my religious beliefs. You mean your beliefs that you can scam people out of money? And I have the right to practice what religion I wish, even if it's spiritual. What religion are you? You're not a Catholic. You're not a Jew. You're not a Muslim. You're a scammer. Religious discrimination is the unfair. She's sending me legal definitions. This includes unwelcome verbal or physical conduct based on someone's religion, religious slurs, or offensive remarks. Okay, well, I'm not making any unwelcome verbal or physical contact with you based on your religion. I'm a journalist, and I'm covering that you scam people and lie to them with your fake superpowers. And we even caught you. Did you tell your lawyer that I sent you a fake cancer patient? And you told the fake cancer patient that you were curing him of cancer and shrinking his cancer cells? He'll testify in court to that, and we may have a recording of you saying that as well. She's seething right now. And remember, friends, every dollar that I get sent makes her even angrier, just so you know. SoCal Rider with 2. Wilcock photos are very disturbing. Well, thank you. They're meant to be disturbing. They're purposefully disturbing. So, yeah, we did that to make them disturbing on purpose. And let's take a look at the funding. We're up to 10 of 50 of the goal. We didn't even start on Wilcock yet. So I guess we could just consider the Sarah R. Adams update a bonus. I'll update the title of the video because I'm sure people, after that crazy show yesterday, people want to know what's going on with the crazy bitch. Because she went crazy yesterday. She's still going crazy. Now I'm infringing on her religious freedom. You can exercise whatever religion you want, honey. But if you're stealing money from people that are sick, telling them that you can heal them, I'm allowed to say you're a scammer. And tell your lawyer that, and now she's got a girl lawyer all of a sudden, you and her can both, I'm not going to say it, but people know what they can both do. People know.
Christian Colon, how do you feel about Boeing being awarded the next-gen fighter contract? That's fine.
Yeah. Remember how David Wilcock has been talking about how his company is going to get the contract from the government to produce next-generation fighters? Well, an announcement just came out. They didn't get it. Big surprise. A company that's never produced a single airplane didn't get a huge multi-billion-dollar government contract. But you know who did? Boeing.
I mean, ours is better, and I just hope that our design doesn't get held back because of that contract happening. But it's definitely going to...
If your design was better, then the government would have picked you and your company to produce it. But they didn't because your company is fake and your company is a joke.
Get made, and we've already flown it in flight simulators. We know that it works.
It works. We know it works because it was in a flight simulator. It was in Microsoft Flight Simulator. So we know it definitely works, right? Yeah, Abu says, stick it to the crystal hippie bitches. Praise the cash. Yeah. And maybe if we hit our goal tonight, not only will we do a Sarah R. Adams interview and laugh at her mercilessly, but I'll send that bitch some deodorant. I know where she lives. I'll send her a case of deodorant so she doesn't have to be a stinky crystal hippie bitch anymore. Like, I think that'd just be like a good community service. We'll send a stinky crystal hippie bitch scammer girl some deodorant, maybe some cologne, you know, some Bath and Body Works de-stinkifier. Yeah, she's stinky, Storm Crow. Send her a razor too. Yeah, she could deal with the big fat beaver bush of hers. She could deal with her big fat beaver bush. We'll send. My wife buys stuff in bulk. I've got some big packs of I listen, I'm man enough to admit it. I don't know. I think they're cheaper. My wife gets these packages and they're pink razors. I shave with them though. I got all kinds of stuff. We could help her with her big beaver bush. I think that would be the nice thing to do. Maybe she'll get happier. Like, she'll deal with her smelliness and her big beaver bush, and then she'll get in a better mood and stop threatening me, right? I'll send her a crystal cucumber. Yeah, she would probably enjoy that. All right, so we got to get to the next. Oh, so the problem is there's not many videos. So we'll be going to some other ones, I guess.
Christian Colon, how do you feel about?
Oh, this is the one we just did. Let's go to the next one. Not many clips because it was so boring. Even Macario couldn't hang in and do the clips because he's just saying nothing this week. He says out of his mind for this one. We'll snipe his.
I did it. Okay, I did it. Tran Pa. It's Tran Pa. That's it's kind of the fusion of Tran Ma and Angry Papa. So we're going to call her Tran Pa. Anyway, somebody did give me these glasses. It's a little bit late for it, but I want to acknowledge, that I...
Oh, God. This is how bad his stream was today. Remember, he's got to stream every week to get his retarded dents to give him as much money as possible.
David,
the only money he's making is YouTube, right?
David, I know you could use the $20 billion. Well, I couldn't, but I would use it if I had it. But this is for the company, and yes, don't worry about.
David is still so delusional. He's telling people that their big deals are coming. They're going to get a $10 billion investment soon, and they'll be able to produce everything he's been talking about. Of course, he's been saying this for 3 years. So this is what I'm saying with David. I think that people are getting bored of my show because he's so goddamn boring. I can't, life gives you lemons, you make lemonade, but he's giving me rotten lemons for like 4 weeks in a row now.
Next gen.
He's got to go back to going completely ape shit and calling cops and threatening to get me arrested and stuff, right?
Generation air defense contract from the Air Force going to them. Our product is very competitive. In fact, it's better. This again is the SM-39.
Yeah, his product is better. The one that they never built. They've never built an airplane, but somehow his product is better than a Boeing prototype that already exists, that's already being test flown, right? Sure.
It goes Mach 4. Apparently, the F-47 only goes Mach 2.
Yeah, and they haven't solved the heat problem. You can't get an airplane to go Mach 4 unless you solve the heat problem. Titanium, which was used on the SR-71 Blackbird, is ridiculously expensive, and even that won't really allow past Mach, I think 3.5. I'd have to look it up. It's been a while. If anybody in the live chat knows, put it in all capital letters. What is the SR-71's top speed? There's a heat barrier, and I don't know. Maybe it's just because my father was into aeronautics, and he was a helicopter mechanic for a time, so I know a lot about airplanes. And one of the things I know about high-tech airplanes is that one of the reasons that they haven't been able to get to Mach 4, Mach 5, Mach 6 is because there's a heat problem. The whole airplane starts to melt just from the surface temperatures with the friction. They haven't solved this problem. You can't, David Wilcock, get a plane to fly at Mach 4 unless you solve the heat problem.
And it's more maneuverable. It's got...
Yeah, I love how everything that his company's doing is so much better, but yet they can't win a contract. They keep losing contracts every time that they say they're submitting for one.
Everything about it is the next. So
maybe the government doesn't trust a shady aerospace company that's been promoting products that they haven't made for 30 years.
We're actually calling this a 7th generation.
Oh, now it's the 7th generation. No, it's not.
They've had the 6th generation flying around for a while. 5 years supposedly. Okay, that's fine. But this is the 7th generation. So anyway, what about?
He's just decided it's the 7th generation by proclamation. The guy has zero experience with aviation, with aeronautics, with building anything that flies. He's just going to declare, yes, this is, they got the 6th generation. We have the 7th.
About the F-47. Well, that's what I just said. They did get the contract, but again, you know, we have a clearly competitive product, and we're not trying to say that they shouldn't develop that. Let's go ahead and
Clearly
develop
competitive. That. They haven't built it yet. It's not competitive until you make more than a 3D printed toy, David Wilcock, you dumbass.
But apparently they're not going to have them ready until 2029, so it won't take any longer than ours would. So yeah, the choice is pretty clear to me that we're still going to get our stuff into development. It's going to be a big deal. It's just not going to come out through that particular avenue. But actually on the company front, we've had really, really great things going on. There's been some stunning developments that I can't talk about.
Oh, of course. There's big stunning developments at Stavati. Like what? Getting evicted from your property or a portion of your property? Or did you get sued again by another investor or creditor that you never paid?
But basically at this point, it looks like it's pretty much guaranteed that we're going to get, I don't know, maybe as much as 6B. I mean, that.
Oh, they're going to get a $6 billion investment. Sure, because every day, people invest $6 billion. Oh, and look at that. I can't see you. Maybe you want to arrange your area there. We may have a special guest joining us. So nobody's investing $6 billion. Oh, she dropped. Nobody is investing $6 billion into a company that has never produced anything. So for those who are wondering, it appears, you know, when somebody joins my studio, I could see them down at the bottom. All I saw was hair and like something shaking around, and then she dropped the call. So this girl, who is a multi-dimensional healer who can open stargates, travel to vast star systems, talks to aliens, can open a stargate and take you up to a spaceship, can sell you a course where you talk to high-tech aliens every week. She doesn't know how to work a Zoom call, apparently. So I don't know if she's going to join again or what. We'll just continue with the show. If she can figure out how to work a Zoom call, I'll talk to her.
Could happen. There might even be 2 or 3 of those that might pop up. But it's gotten more interesting. It
might be 2 or 3 people that are going to invest $6 billion into a company that's been in business for 30 years and has not produced a single product or service or produced a single airplane that flies. Sure. 3 or 4 people might invest $6 billion.
Gotten more fun. We're very close to the finish line now. They've
been close to finishing something for 3 years. Remember, 3 years ago, he said he'd have a working hover car prototype within a year. Anybody see a hover car flying around in your city? I haven't.
All different sizes of investments that we're vectoring in, everything from, you know, the 10 million range to the 200 million range up to the $1 billion and beyond. So they're all kind of coming in at the same time. It's a very exciting time. Chris is very, very busy. I hope that we can get him out more and talk about our products more. We're going to do another video. We're going to do another video about one of our other jets. We actually filmed video for like 6 different products.
Oh, this is what she's doing. She's joining to show me her dog. So, and she was giving me the finger a minute ago. Very intuitive and spiritually aligned to give me the finger and show me a dog. I knew Sarah was kind of ugly, but dog is a bit too far, right? And Sarah, I don't have time for your games. I'm doing a show. So if you want to join the stream, join the stream. If you don't, I'm dropping you from my show. Remember, it's my show. Oh, she dropped. You know, I heard, of all people, I heard Megyn Kelly once say that you have to be very protective of your showtime and your airtime. It's your show. You built that audience, and you know, people are lucky to get, you know, access to your audience, and you have to be protective of that. Yeah, but I think we were through the clip anyway. Billions of dollars is being invested. And John Christian Spadavaccia says, this is a David Cope. I knew it when he say it. Stavati's own own website clearly says 6th generation. So there we go. SM39 Razor is 6th generation. David Wilcock is coping because they didn't get the contract. Oh, I'm sorry. They didn't get the contract to produce the United States' new premier 6th generation fighter. They called it a 6th generation fighter, but since they didn't get that contract, now David Wilcock is saying that's a 7th generation fighter now, right? It's just one of those things. I'll take a moment to catch up with the live chat. I apologize, got a bit behind. Axie42 says, listen, Davey, I can make schematic for a theoretical plane, but that doesn't mean it's feasible to manufacture. Exactly. And they're talking about using all these exotic materials. Exotic materials are more expensive, but yet they're saying that their plane is going to be orders of magnitude cheaper than anybody else's airplane. It doesn't make sense, Axio42, because it's pie in the sky. It's bullshit. It's not real, but we do thank you for helping us to praise the cash. Here's some nightmare fuel for you.
Praise the cash, praise the cash, praise the cash. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your generosity. Praise the cash.
Hey, maybe joining somebody's live show and giving them the finger and showing them a dog. Maybe I should get a lawyer. Maybe that's a form of harassment, friends, right? I'm being harassed. I'm being stalked by a crazy crystal hippie bitch with a big hairy bush. Rat load every day with $4.99 says it was the bush. Yeah, I knew she was hairy, but not that hot hairy, right? Yeah, thank you very much. Ratioed every day for your kindness, your generosity, and your support, and helping us to praise the cash.
Praise the cash, praise the cash. Thank Ra Almighty, praise the cash. Praise the cash, praise the cash. Thank Ra Almighty.
Thank Ra Almighty. Praise the cash, my friends. Praise it. We thank you for your kindness, ratioed every day. One for the goal. And Jim Bob with another one for the goal. The sign of a truthful character is always self-evident. No need to threaten others. Truth will always speak with conviction. To lie is to betray oneself, to expose oneself. Steve, keep up the good work. Well, thank you, Jim Bob. That's very kind of you. And that's double one for our goal. So we thank you for the kindness, generosity, and support, and for helping us to praise the cash.
Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your generosity. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash.
Yeah, and here we go. Here we go. Act Z with another one. David Boy seems to like making 3D printed toys. Why doesn't he convert his company into making airplane models? It would be way more profitable. I think he should make cucumber dildos with that printer. You can get green 3D printed spools, right? You can get green in 3D printing spools. He could make a lot of money selling them crystal hippie bitches cucumbers to bang themselves with. I think, Axie, I think that would be a good business plan. What do you think?
Ra commands you to bow down and praise the cash.
Ra commands you. You got to do it. Ha ha. Lester Johnson with one for the goal says, God bless the goal. And Sneedberger syndrome reminding me of the cucumbers. I will be seeing cucumbers in my live chat for the rest of my existence. But I've come to kind of like it. And here we go again.
David, I know you could use the $20 billion. Well, I couldn't, but I mean, I would use it.
Now she's just trying to annoy me. She's outside. What are you doing, Sarah? Your hands are very dirty for a woman. Do you know that, Sarah? Are you going to the store to get some razors to shave your hairy bush? Buy some deodorant too, you stinky bitch. Buy some deodorant, you stinky bitch. And take a shower. And get a job. Very mature for a spiritually enlightened person to interrupt my show to give me the finger and show me a field that she's walking around. Is this where you do the Dark Alliance rituals? This where you curse your detractors? Axie says my idea is much better. I think cucumber dills would sell much better than these airplanes he's never going to make. So what do you want to do here, Sarah? Do you want to talk, or do you want to just interrupt my show with your dirty hands and your fingers? I think you ought to go to the store and get some razors. Oh, look at that. She turned it around and we can see she's with her simp buddy. What's that guy's name? The pussy that wouldn't tell me his name yesterday? I know his name now. Somebody told me what it is. Sarah's camera has a low frame per second. Oh, and she dropped. Soil Alpin 900 AD. She's been rubbing fake bake and no washing. Seen it before and bathing in pee. Yeah. Remember what 4chan did to Shia LaBeouf? Oh, this is just ridiculous. But let's move on to the next clip. Oh no, we weren't done this one. I don't think we weren't done this one. I keep getting interrupted. I shouldn't have given her that invitation link. But I want to be able to say that I gave her an opportunity to tell her side of the story, and she's just too cowardly to do it.
But actually, on the company front, we've had really, really great things going on. There's been some stunning developments that
Maybe we could start a GoFundMe to get her razors to shave her hairy beef and to get a shower. Like we could get her like a makeover package somewhere. Don't give you a shower too, right? Shave. Maybe you should get a Brazilian, right? Get waxed.
I can't talk about. But basically, at this point, it looks like it's pretty much guaranteed that we're going to get.
Oh, it's guaranteed.
I don't know, maybe as much as 6B. I mean, that could happen. There might even be 2 or 3 of those that might pop up. But it's gotten more interesting. It's gotten more fun. We're very close to the finish line now.
Oh yeah, they've been close to the finish line.
All different sizes of investments that we're vectoring in.
Yeah.
Everything from, the 10 million range to the 200 million range up to the $1 billion and beyond.
Oh, sure. People are going to invest 10 billion, 200 million, 10 million. Sure.
So they're all
into a company that's never made anything.
Coming in at the same time.
Yeah, they're all coming in at the same time. Sure. Next week, right? You've been saying next week for 3 years, David Wilcock, you loser.
It's a very exciting time. Chris is very, very busy. I hope that we can get him out.
How could he be busy? He runs a company that doesn't make anything, David.
More and talk about our products more. We're going to do another video. We're going to do another video about one of our other jets.
That's Sarah
We actually filmed video for like 6 different products.
She's with one of her simp cult members. Let's go outside and give that Steve Cambion the finger. Frank Brown, not worth your time. Yeah, well, I there's nothing I can do, though. I gave her the show invitation link. So for the whole length of this show, she could keep joining. And she's harassing me. And is there any lawyers? I need a lawyer. She's harassing my show, Brown. Chill Station 7 with 2 says 2 for the shave, Sarah Gold. Yeah, let's shave that down, right? Thank you, Chill Station 7. I appreciate it. And Troll 1 for the goal. Do you suppose DSP was thinking about Sarah when he rubbed one out on camera? I don't know that he knows her. But we thank you and Chill Station for helping us, of course, to praise the cash. We gotta praise it good.
Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your generosity. Praise the cash. Praise the cash.
We're praising it tonight. All right, we're going to get to the next clip. Like I said, though, the problem is we don't have many clips tonight.
David, will you be at the Stavati Hangar Open Day in May?
Yeah, this is great. So Stavati announced that they're going to have an open house event at their hangar event, and David Wilcock doesn't even know about it. And David, you said there's going to be open extraterrestrial contact by May of 2025 and ascension of May of 2025. Are you holding your special event before the ascension and the aliens come, or after? And why don't you even know about this? They announced it.
David, will you be at the Stavati Hangar Open Day in May? Nanasani. I guess I didn't even know we were going to have one. I can't confirm yet that I'm going to be there because I haven't even heard about this, but I will look it up and see if we are having a day in May.
Yeah. In response to the County of Niagara basically calling their company a sham and a scam, they decided that they were going to have an open house event and show everybody all this advanced technology that they're working on, like having garbage dumpsters at their thank you, troll, like having garbage dumpsters at their hangar location, right? That's one of those things. DSP was thinking about soiled adult diaper while he was sitting there rubbing one out. Oh man, we might get back. The Kino boys are gonna be ripping him to shreds tonight. So maybe it's good that we have an early show tonight. We'll just call it an early one, right? Yeah, look at that. We only got a few more clips.
Daniel Hinckley says, David, you are as cute as ever. Thank you, sweetie. Thank you so much.
He does this a little too well to be fake.
You know,
maybe that's his true self and the way he talks around all his real friends.
Man tells you you're cute, then you're definitely getting into the gaydar zone. So we'll just honor the gaydar zone. And what the hell?
He's way too.
I mean, I think it's funny. That's the funny thing. I grew up in New York State. I had it all around me all the time, and it was like a gay Olympics to see who could be the gayest guy on campus. And there was a group of theater majors that were fighting for that. And there was one guy with blonde hair, and he definitely had it, man. He was able to get the voice to go up into his nasal passages. When you get it up in here, up in your nose, and he was just, it made me, I mean, 4 years I saw this going on. So I do have a soft spot for that kind of comedy. But anyway.
That's not comedy. That's making fun of gay people. But I guess it is what it is, right?
Daniel Hinckley says, David, you are...
Wrong one. Next.
By the staggeringly huge tunnels that were discovered beneath the Giza Pyramid. So I didn't believe it on Wednesday, didn't believe it on Thursday.
I knew he was going to 100% believe it, says Macario. Of course he's going to jump headlong into this fake pyramid shit.
Got up on Friday morning and found out that the Alliance had posted in the affirmative about this story.
Yeah. Oh, the Alliance said it's real. You mean the fake Alliance said the fake story is real, so now it's real?
Get to that a little later. But then it took a while for it to sort of percolate through normal media. The website I like to go to starts with 0 and then it ends with hedge. I often am copying their headlines because it's similar to a normal news site, but it's coming out from the truth, which is really great. So they finally got to it as of Monday morning. Or no, this is actually, the late night, Sunday night, Monday morning, 3 o'clock in the morning on Monday. Researchers claim to have discovered a vast city underneath Egypt's pyramids, giant vertical cylinder-shaped structures below the pyramid. So this is actually what we are seeing, you guys.
No, that's an artist's rendition. There is no such thing as any kind of technology, LiDAR, sonar, radar, or otherwise, that could give you that level of detail at those distances, you moron.
This is...
How big is the Great Pyramid? It's like 125 or 100 stories, 50 stories tall. I don't even know. So this would have to be like thousands of feet deep. There's no LiDAR, radar, sonar, or otherwise that can go thousands of feet deep and give you this level of detail. So basically, David Wilcock is a moron. He saw a pretty picture of something that he wants to be true, and now, therefore, it must be true.
The best reconstructions that we have right now of what it actually looks like under there, you have 8 shafts of incredible...
Oh, I think David Wilcock is getting the shaft, usually bent over by the plow guy, but yeah, that's another story.
2,000 feet below the surface underground, terminating in these cubes.
Oh, God. This guy is a complete and total moron.
If you haven't seen this before...
Oh, big surprise. He's pulling out the I'm Edgar Casey because I bear some vague resemblance to him.
Apparently reincarnation
pulling that out again.
Similarity. Here's a picture of Edgar Casey.
That looks nothing like David Wilcock. You moron, David Wilcock. And just because you look like somebody from the past doesn't mean you're the reincarnated version of them.
And it's like, dang, man, David kind of looks the same, you know. Let's see if I can do this. If I lean and look at you that way, let's get the face right. And then you look at the picture, okay, there's some pretty stunning facial similarity there.
No, there
you
isn't.
can't fake your own face. That's just kind of something you're stuck with.
Oh yeah, anybody that says this is fake is stupid because come on, that face is dead on exact to David Wilcock's face.
So I don't know how anybody could think this is fake. Because if you haven't seen,
he doesn't know how anybody could think him saying he's Edgar Cayce is fake. How about his own family thought it was fake, David Wilcock? How about the Edgar Cayce Foundation said it was fake, that you're not Edgar Cayce reincarnated? They asked him to stop saying that, but he keeps right on saying it.
And we have Mavano Mav. Hello, David. I'm watching you from Poland, Krakow. What do you think about how to stop killing? Well, you know, I think that's going to happen. We're very close to the end of that. I've been really pushing for that.
Oh, he's really pushing for an end to war. Sure he is. Sure he is.
Life-changing phenomenon. And Michael was the one.
Yeah, he's more psychic now because Michael told him to get massages. And now, just so everybody knows, not only if you want superpowers, the first step is that you have to get an angel to tell you to take baths and piss, and then you get some superpowers. But if you want to strengthen your superpower psychic abilities, then you've got to get gay massages. He doesn't say gay massages, but I think he means you got to bathe and pee, and then you got to do the gay massages. That's how you get your really strong psychic abilities.
When I started on Seal Michael prophecies, told me you got to get these out of your body because your fascia around your muscles become an antenna for the psychic. And I do feel I've gotten much more psychic since I've done this massage work.
He's gotten much more psychic since he started getting gay massages. Yes.
It's basically just like fixing the antenna.
He fixed the antenna with the gay massages. I guess they fixed the antenna. This is what he means. They rub one out for him right at the end. They fix his antenna. Always felt it. Says law school kid here. By defamation law, she's losing her case by not responding and insulting you rather than making an explanation. Countersue her. Well, we'll keep that in mind, always felt it, but thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support of the show.
Praise the cash, praise the cash, praise the cash. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your generosity. Praise the cash, praise the cash.
All right, and we've got P18 with one for the goal. Thank you for your kindness. There's $5, one for the goal, saying praise the cash. Yeah, we're definitely praising the cash. And Chill Station 7 with one for the goal, saying, can we hit it? I think we can, but I'll check in with the goal in a moment. I think we can hit it. I have faith. But let's take a moment to recognize all you kind and generous benefactors who are helping us to praise the cash. We're definitely praising it.
Ra commands you to bow down and praise the cash.
Yeah, Ra commands you to help me hit the goal. That's what happens, right? Phil Burnell's Hogan Pulls says, circle jerk to superhero powers. David belongs in retarded Justice League type of circle. Yeah, he would be in the second squad, right?
Ooh, that doesn't sound good. And the return of the great...
He's basically David Wilcock. In this clip, David Wilcock is trying desperately to say that he's Jesus reincarnated, but he doesn't want to come right out and say it. So he's just going to hint that he's the second coming of Jesus.
Initiate to that and other lands for the folding up of those prophecies that are depicted there. Now, who is the great initiate? Some people think it's the second coming of Christ. It might be me. I might be what they're calling the great initiate.
He might be the second coming of Christ.
It could be either one or it could be something else. I always tended to assume that it was the reincarnation.
Gome is here.
Jesus,
welcome, Gome. Now it's a party.
You know, the return of the great initiate to that and other lands. I did return to Egypt.
Right on.
And obviously, Michael Prophecies has suddenly put a spotlight on me because great hyperdimensional beings are using me to help.
Ancient Egyptian deities are invested in his grift. Yeah.
Saving the world like nothing else. I take this very seriously.
Yeah.
As weird as...
You hear him? He just said he's saving the world. He's saving the world by sharing Q-tard telegram posts from Shadows of Ezra. That's how he's saving the world.
using me to help create this ascension for all of us. It's saving the world like nothing else. I take this very seriously. As weird as it all seems to be, I love it. The return of the great initiate, you know, that might be me. I mean, I'm not going to take too much credit here, but it could
The
be.
Return of the Great Initiate, originally Casey was referring to Jesus Christ. So now David Wilcock is, if Casey said that was Jesus Christ, then David Wilcock reincarnates as Edgar Casey, as David Wilcock, but now David Wilcock is saying that he's the initiate that Casey talked about reincarnating. The reincarnation of Jesus. How can you be the reincarnation of Jesus and Edgar Casey at the same time, you moron? Doesn't make any sense.
Because I have, you know,
Write some better
I am a great
garbage, fake
initiate.
shit.
Obviously, if I built the pyramid, that's he was the original great
Yeah. Oh, David Wilcock also built the Great Pyramids in a previous life. Sure.
initiate. So
Sure.
yeah, it could be another reincarnation prophecy, whatever. Steven's going to love this. He'll do a whole video just on that.
No, I'm not doing a whole video just on this. But you're a moron, because Casey was referring to the second coming of Christ in that reading. I know enough Casey history to know that. He's not talking about a reincarnation. The great initiate is not some grifter who keeps getting caught using fake government insiders, who keeps getting caught selling fake prophetic nonsense, who keeps getting caught selling fake secret space program bullshit stories. He was referring to the second coming of Christ, David Wilcock, not you, you fucking moron. All right, we'll go to the next one here. Gosh, we're only a few to go.
These shapes intensify spiraling light. Your caves being rounded are places of power due to this shape.
Macario says, this explains everything. David was exposed to so much pyramid power.
It is to be noted that these shapes also are dangerous. Why is that? Think about it. The intensification of light, and they explain that later on, that your karma speeds up. So if you start exposing yourself to pyramid power, your karma might go so fast that in order to burn it off, you have a car crash, you cut yourself, you burn yourself.
Didn't he have a car crash? Didn't he burn himself when he was making the eggs that time? Ooh, love it when he talks about himself.
You get dumped, you get fired, you have people hate you, people turn on you. Crisis happens in your life, financial crisis, marital crisis.
Oh, all the things that he's experiencing.
Personal crisis, health crisis. That's what will happen if you expose yourself to this energy too quickly.
Oh, he's exposed himself to pyramid power. That's why he's in financial ruin. His marriage fell apart. Well, his marriage fell apart because he couldn't make his wife come and he was allergic to vagina. But he had a car crash. Everything he just described, he's just experienced. And he's saying that this is karma. Great.
So that's why they say it's dangerous. And they explain that in a bunch of other places.
Oh, it's dangerous. Okay. It's dangerous. Just a few more clips.
If you expose yourself to pyramid power, you could be attacked by demons if you're not doing the work. It'll actually...
Don't walk inside the pyramid, man. You might have to fight some demons. Maybe that's where your so-called Archangel Michael came from. The demonic realm, David.
make the demonic incursions worse and make you more susceptible to that. So be careful about where you're living. The house that I'm living in is a log cabin. It's all wood with just a metal roof, so it's the perfect pyramid.
It's not a pyramid, you moron. I've seen your house. It's nothing like a pyramid.
Huge, big, 1 foot thick logs with no metal holding them together at all, except for the metal roof, which makes it like an orgone box. So
He's a complete and total moron. I know an awful lot about log cabins, including huge log cabins. There's metal holding those logs together, you morons. David, there's huge spikes. Logs that big, there's probably 2-3 foot long spikes every few feet holding those logs together. You're not going to just slap logs that are 4 foot thick together with no fasteners, you moron.
yes, I've spent 4 years in isolation in this place, hardly talking to anyone, experiencing this pyramid power where you get an activation, but you also have to deal with the demonic a lot more.
he's saying that he's been exposed to pyramid power because he lives in a log cabin somehow. Like, this is just nonsensical, David. A log cabin and a pyramid are two different things. And by the way, it's been scientifically proven all that pyramid power stuff that you ramble on about is nonsense. It's pseudoscience. It's fake, just like you. He's broke and he's bald and he's spewing nonsense again. All right. Last clip. Oh no, we got a few more. We got some wildlife clips.
And then we'll get into what they actually discovered, because it's so mind-blowing. So again,
and every week he puts these glasses on. People say it's to mock me, but I don't know if that's the case. I think he's just a moron.
They're hinting at that there is information to be gained when you ask what's under the pyramid. And now we know, yes, they knew these tunnels were down there. They're calling them resonating chambers, and the bottom has to be open. Wow.
Resonating chambers.
And then we're back to 1681. This is almost everybody that researches Casey forgets about this one. 1681-1. And then we'll get into what.
All right, now he's going to share some wildlife nonsense, I guess.
And they're hungry.
Oh, look, turkeys.
Hey, guys. It's Daddy. You're back. You're my children. Yay.
I happen to get a lot of wild turkeys at my cabin, too.
Hey, turkeys.
But I don't talk to them like a lunatic.
Turkeys. Turkeys. Yay, you're awake and you're alive. Turkey.
Buffalo
Starting
Spot.
to get your gobblers a little
People
bit?
love to mock crazy cat ladies and
Still
whatever, but
adolescent,
this is
though,
a whole
'cause
new
you don't
level.
have the big old gobbler down there. You don't have a big old flap of skin that just wants to hang and gobble. But you guys have got the gobble down.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. You came back home to Daddy.
Do you think he bangs those turkeys when the camera's off? I do. And the moose, too. I'm pretty sure he bangs that moose.
You know how happy that makes me?
He's a moose fucker.
Very happy. Look. Yay, turkeys. Oh, yeah.
All right. Wow. It looks as if we have reached the end, my friends. But we've got some more. I've got some more to share with you. Let me take a moment and catch up with the live chat. And oh, look, there's P18. I mean it. Ross said it. I guess it's got to be done, says P18. Well, thank you.
Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your generosity. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash.
And we've got Cave Teeth with another one. Saving the world one cucumber at a time. Well, thank you for that.
Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Thank Ra Almighty. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Thank Ra Almighty.
That's something else. Thank you, Cave Teeth, for putting a smile on my face. And Gome is here with one for the goal. Need some wind to ruin his day. Praise the cash. Yeah, I tried to send the hell winds this week, but I didn't have enough time to do the Dark Alliance rituals. So you know how that goes. We couldn't get the black magic cone going to create the hell winds. And but thank you, Gome, for your kindness, generosity, and your support of the show.
Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your generosity. Praise the cash. Praise the cash.
And another one from Gome. It's Daddy. Definitely not what I want to hear from him. Yeah, absolutely, Gome. Like, that's not, I don't know, man. He's pretty creepy. The dude's cracking up. He's like talking to turkeys on purpose, but what are you going to do?
Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your generosity. Praise the cash. Praise the cash.
All right, friends. So I think that we have an original coast to coast video. I don't know what the hell kind of. Oh, we have 2012 video. Just to show that he's talking about the same shit now that he was talking about in 2012. So we'll share that. We'll share this. This is from the 2012 Enigma. It's David Wilcock lecture that he gave, and interestingly, I'm getting harassed by Sarah Adams again. Let's just get rid of them. All right. Uh, yeah, somebody joined as David Wilcock playing commercial music, probably trying to disrupt the monetization on my stream. This is an old one, but I think it's good to show that this is, 12, 13 years ago. And he talks about the same exact crap in this 13 years ago. Some differences because this is related to the coming 2012 ascension. But he's been saying the same stuff over and over again for ages. Thomas Robinson with £5, protecting aliens since 1947 with no disclosure in sight. You make me laugh every time I see that one. But we thank you for your kindness, your generosity, and your support of the show. Where is my bumpers at? Oh, here we go.
Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your generosity. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash.
Thank you, Thomas Robinson. Yeah, Sarah, get off Steve's jock. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of big hairy bush bitches. She's a big hairy bush bitch. She's big. She's hairy. And her JJ super hairy. I think Oliver's hairy, but what are you going to do? Yes, praise the cash. Praise the cash. Yes. He's a very flamboyant man, says Soil Pen Alpin. Yeah, I mean, yeah. All right, let's I'm citing fair use again. This is really old, but we'll see if we can't draw some parallels between all the stuff he used to talk about and all the stuff he's talking about now. It's the same recycled pseudoscience garbage.
Then when you find out that they're the same people as in Edgar's circle, it's very, very surprising. Okay, so as we went through yesterday, are there great secrets being held? This was something a lot of people didn't catch on the way they did the reflection on the poster for the Da Vinci Code. And of course, what is the eye in the triangle on top of the pyramid? Is there a message that's being given that we're not fully getting access to? Gore's inconvenient truth, sure, that looks like smoke, not. That looks like a galaxy. And here's the Milky Way from the top down. There's our sun, so you can see this is about where we are. So we're not all the way out at the edge, we're kind of in the middle.
Galactic nonsense.
But doesn't this look sort of like crosshairs to sort of point towards the galactic center and suggest that there's some sort of galactic alignment that's going on here? So later in this talk, you're going to hear about interplanetary climate change, which is how this movement into a new area of energy in our galaxy is in fact actually causing all the planets in the solar system to experience changes just like the ones we see on Earth. So this is far from an isolated phenomenon. There's also these new physics discoveries that keep leaking out, and they always relate to sacred geometry. The idea in this case of the dodecahedron, which is 12 pentagonal faces that kind of looks like a soccer ball if you make it into a sphere.
Oh, God. Oh, God. We want to thank Robert P., the MVP lately of gifted memberships. And now's a good time to remind you that you should smash that subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button, because if you're in the live chat and you're not a subscriber, you're not eligible to win these free gifted memberships. But if you're in the live chat and you are a subscriber, but not yet a YouTube channel member here, when a kind and generous person like Robert P. gifts these free Truth Seekers membership, you could win one. Chris C., just some guy, won a free gifted membership. Castillo became a Praise the Cash member and got a free membership. We've got Caleb Foster became a Praise the Cash member and got a free membership. And we have Ben Man Vibing became a Praise the Cash member. And also Arashi became a Praise the Cash member. All thanks to the kindness, generosity, and support of the latest MVP of gifting these memberships. That's Robert P. Thank you for your kindness, sir. We appreciate you. Thanks so much for appreciating us and for helping us to praise the cash.
Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. The blue chickens command you to praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash.
Oh, wow. And look at that. Gome answering the call and gifting another 5 Truth Seekers memberships. And we have Ryan is too conceited, got a free membership. Gary Wood got a free membership. CJ, not Maiku, got a free membership. And Darren Kern all got free membership. So we thank you, Gome, for your kindness, generosity, and support. Hearing the call of the goal and gifting those memberships. Very kind of you. Big ups. Thank you, Gome.
Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your generosity. Praise the cash. Praise the cash.
Yes, we praise it. And I'm trying desperately to get over to, oh, here we go. I'm trying to get over to kick.com. We want to make sure that we check out our Kick people over there in Kick. We'll give a shout out to Winter Soldier and Clydesdale, who is over in the Kick chat, as well as yeah, that's all I see over there. It's a slow night with the Kick chat, I guess. But we want to take a moment to I gotta go to check out our revenue section here. If you gift a Truth Seekers membership, or you become a subscriber on our kick.com channel, by the way, you could check that out at kick.com/Truth Seeker Show. We give you a big shout out and a thank you. And so far today, Winter Soldier has gifted 1 Kick subscription. So we thank Winter Soldier. And previously we had Devoured Eagle gifted a sub. Winter Soldier again gifted a sub. Clydesdale gifted a sub. Mewtwo XV Real became a subscriber. Midnight Streams became a subscriber. Noise Goblin 123 gifted a sub. Clydesdale, Noise Goblin again, Can't Sin, and Bunker Buster for you, all gifting subs over there on Kick. And we truly appreciate it, because we end up getting an extra week's paycheck for the month out of the kick.com pile of money. So we thank you for your kindness. Let's continue with the David Wilcock nonsense.
They actually found out, these scientists discovered that the background radiation from when the universe was first created has arranged itself into this odd geometric pattern. And that's been proven. So then the question is, okay, what is the force that would cause that type of geometry to emerge in the formation of the universe? As we're going into the 2012 subject, of course, crop circles have been on everybody's mind. This was the formation that came down a couple of years ago, which started out in an unfinished way. You notice that all of these blocks are completely solid, and this area is solid as well. Well, the circle makers, whoever they are, came back. And when they came back, this is what we got. Now you have time markings and symbols from the Mayan calendar, okay? And the alignment of these winged discs in terms of what markers they're pointing to, which corresponds to the Mayan system and the Aztec system, gave you an exact time reference of the length of time between when this was created and 2012, the end of the Mayan calendar.
Yeah, he's just talked about.
So this is a self-referential 2012 diagram given to us by whoever is behind the circle phenomenon.
And Sarah, you can stop harassing my show, because unless you're actually going to appear on camera and speak, I'm just going to kick you every time you join. And I'm going to ask you to not join again, because now you are disrupting my show, you dumb bitch. You dumb, scammy, scummy, dirty, big bushed bitch. You're disrupting my show. Stop doing it. And I just want to tell you that simp of yours, you're lucky. You're lucky you're so far away, right? You and your pussy little simp think you're going to, disrupt my show or bother me? What kind of a lunatic, in the hopes of getting some stinky crystal hippie bitch, dirty girls, the JJ, is going to help her harass a journalist, right? Yeah, she is cray-cray. Absolutely cray-cray. Why oh why fools thinks he can fix her. Sarah, my queen, come to the chat. You don't want that dirty bitch. She's a dirty bitch, man. Do you know she banged Oliver Stone's son, right? Didn't she? What's that guy's name? Sean Stone? She was banging him for a while. I don't know. All right, let's continue with our David. Now, this is some of the same, this is the kind of shit that he's always talking about. Pyramid power, crop circles. Here he's saying that the crop circles are predicting ascension in 2012. Well, it turns out that didn't happen, David Wilcock.
Is one of many crop circles, which seems to suggest that the secret to understanding 2012 and this mystery that we're dealing with right here in our talk today is in vibration. That looks an awful lot like a vibrating puddle of liquid. This is what happens when you take vibration to the next step. You get sacred geometry, and I'm going to show you more about that in a second. If you can imagine, this is a sphere and a cube, and then another sphere. This is the Froxfield chromosome formation. Obviously, the circle makers are saying, 2012, pay attention to your DNA, right? Except here's the thing. The chromosome's all broken up. And that's what happens before there's about to be a cell metamorphosis.
Oh, a cell metamorphosis.
Now, this is even more interesting. Check this out. What does that look like to you? A double helix. Okay, and there's 12 stations. Then down here, you get an even weirder thing. You get a triple helix.
He just showed these same exact crop circles not long ago, the DNA crop circles. He just showed these on a show like in the past couple of months or year, for sure. So what does he do? Just keep these slides forever and just recycle the same old shit every few years? I think that's what he does. That's what I believe. Yeah. And we want to take a moment to recognize the goal. God bless the goal. We're halfway to it. We're at 25 of 50. Let's see if we can get there. Don't make me beg like Darkside Phil, right? She needs an intact nurse of the psych ward to interview her. Yeah, that's the interview she needs. Intake one. Yes. It's a loop. Yeah, that's what he'll say. David Wilcock. It's a loop.
But they still have that same formation, and then boom. What's this? And look at the timelines. This is less than a month apart in 1999. And this came out in 96. So it appears that there is a message being given about the basic nature of DNA changing somehow.
Oh, yeah. The crop circle looks like DNA, so there's a basic message being given about the thing it looks like, DNA. Wow, brilliant, 180 IQ Einstein. Awesome. Thanks for letting us. I wouldn't have known that was possibly about DNA unless you said that.
This is another crop formation which shows you DNA very, very clearly. As you can see that it's twisting, and you can see the ladder and the helixes. So there's something very interesting going on here. Now, this is one of the most staggering formations that's ever come down. As I said yesterday, the idea that two drunken Englishmen stomped it down with a funny hat and a string and board.
You mean the guys who admitted to making it? Yeah.
After coming back from the bar one night, it just doesn't fly. This is much too complex to be something that could have been done without an elaborate. And the thing is, I mean, there have been some cases where formations like this have been documented as showing up within a 1 hour period. Like somebody's out there at night, they see nothing, and then there's lights and the dogs start barking and everything goes nuts, and then all of a sudden, boom, there it is. So this is showing you the geometry of the tetrahedron, which here's a drawing of it. This is the frozen vibration circles. That is one of the principal energy fields that moves through planets, as you can see in this diagram. It shows up at 19.5, which is Richard Hoagland's thing. He's speaking tonight at 7.
Oh, yeah, he used to grift with Hoagland.
So here's your animation of the actual Great Red Spot, which is at the limb of the tetrahedron down here, and Jupiter. And this also extends through the Great Dark Spot on Neptune. This extends through a shield. And this also extends through the Great Dark Spot on Neptune. This extends through a shield volcano on Mars called Olympus Mons, all throughout the solar system. So here's the secret. This is just a puddle of water that's got ordinary particles of sand in it called colloids. And those colloids are then vibrated on perfect sound frequencies like the white keys on the piano.
Yeah.
And what you get is this interesting geometric shape inside, which should look pretty familiar to us by now.
It's the great P spot.
So this is the same pile of sand in the same water, just with different sound frequencies. And this is a very important point we're going to get into soon. The fact is that you can crank up the sound to a different frequency and you get the same stable geometry. It stays there, it doesn't move. And when you crank it back down,
It's called physics.
it goes back
you
to the other
moron.
shape. So these shapes remain consistent
It's called
for the given volume of water that you have.
It's called physics, you moron. Sound waves can cause sand on a platform to create shapes based on the sound waves, you moron. Call me Astro with Kind of Generous 220 says, at least David is more interesting than Sarah. I don't know about that. Sarah sounds like a moron. David sounds like, well, Sarah sounds like a child or a retarded moron. And David sounds like a mental patient to me, right? It all depends. I mean, people have their preferences, I guess. But thank you for helping us to praise the cash.
Praise the cash, praise the cash, praise the cash. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your generosity. Praise the cash.
More interesting than Sarah. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. They both have the Tard card. They both have hand crank coom shots. Oh, look, David, 46 and 2. Yes. Yes, like the Tool song.
Have and the shape of that water, regardless of how many times you change your frequencies. And it's also important to notice that the density
how do you think I feel, Dave
of the structure, the density of the geometry gets higher as the pitch goes higher. These are increasing pitches as you go down.
Torture.
So that's a very important point.
It's like my own
So
hell.
what if physical matter was actually built like this? What if this is the secret of physical matter? Could that mean that atoms and molecules, as we know them, could fundamentally shift?
All the things up. And then he throws
That's what we're
Muslim
looking at.
and Hindu stuff. Yeah, you're right.
As I was training you into seeing yesterday, is there a parallel reality where space and time flip over, where they invert with each other? And the answer is yes. That's actually what is going on. Does this solve all the basic quantum physics problems?
Basic quantum physics. I don't think he knows anything about that. Apollo 01012006 with a Kind and Generous 5, 1 for the goal. Steven, seeing how David has 1.5 million reasons to just give up, you're like a pit bull. I love it. He's broke and bald. It's so funny. Yes, Apollo, he is broke and he is bald. Simon Fly says, I'm here for fake lawyers phoning in during the show. Well, they keep joining the show, but they're not saying anything. They're just trying to annoy me today, Simon Fly. I think that simp of hers should drive her to CVS and get her some razors to shave her big fat beaver bush. That's what I think. She needs help with her big fat beaver bush. Toupee is real, says some guy. Well, his toupee is real, but nothing else is. No, he's too bald for a toupee. Remember I showed that famous shot where he bent down that one time during the stream? Dude, like the whole top of his head is like bald spots. It's gross.
Problems, it does.
He's broke.
And that's been proven. Goes back to the two-slit experiment where you have single electrons that move through two slits, but then they form an interference pattern of more than two slits on the other side, which is like a wave. So here you have a particle, but over here you have a wave, and you can even have multiple strikes at the same time. So atoms and electrons are not little bitty chunks of matter. They're just energy.
Definitely.
But they're not behaving the way
and
they
he's
should.
a bottom bitch, too.
So here's another diagram
bitch.
of that. This is what a wave does. A wave is just like if there was a liquid here, and then it hits this, it ripples like two waves on a pond coming together, and that's how you get your interference pattern.
Oh, Gemma Jackson, that's
so, of course, wave-particle duality.
One day you join the show and I get to hear yours.
What we're discussing now is the idea that a particle is here in space-time. That's where it's fixed in time, but can move around in space.
Yeah, that was the
but in the inverted world, it's spread out in time. So it's still the same thing.
Look at that.
It's just that it's now flipped over into another domain.
Oh, well, we thank you. The Bud, geez, how do I say that one? The Buddhas of Boston Sports. That's how you say that. Grateful Dead fans are deadheads. Fish fans are fish heads. Are David's fans cockheads? Yes, they're definitely. That's a good one. I'm going to remember that one. David's fans shall henceforth always be known as cockheads. But thank you. That's one for the goal. The Buddhas of Boston Sports. Thank you for helping us. God bless the goal. Let's get some more super chats. Let's hit this goal. I've got more despicable, disgusting stuff. We're going to do a Sarah video if we hit the goal tonight.
Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your generosity. Praise the cash. Praise the cash.
Praise it. We're at 27 of 50. So, yeah, 23 more. Let's get there. Thank you for your kindness, everybody, so far. Very good, supportive crowd tonight. I always love to see it. I always enjoy the show, says Gemma Jackson. It's a riot. I love it. Well, thank you. And I promise you, I will never talk about your bush. Just that stinky bitch. What's that? Sarah R. Adams, that stinky bitch. I'll talk about her big fat beaver bush all the time, but I'll leave yours out of it. All right, let's continue with the feltoning of Wilcock.
Domain.
And look at his audience. It's all like dorks and old ladies.
And in that other domain, it spaces out in time, and thus you get this kind of waveform that's created from it.
You might be a cockhead.
Well,
yes.
This would all be just kind of an interesting intellectual study until you start looking at larger objects. Now check this out. This is a little thing called a buckyball or a fullerene.
A fullerene.
It's carbon molecules, 60 of them put together. Obviously, this is a solid piece of matter. In fact, they're used to store items inside of them. They can be used for like disaster cleanups, like oil spills eventually. If they could manufacture enough of them, that kind of thing would be great for that. Well, Zellinger in 1999 took these carbon-60 molecules and shot them at a 100 nanometer diffraction grating,
nice
which is a little slit like we showed you
a
before.
little bit of actual
and he got an interference pattern, which is like a wave.
Science. But then he mixes
So do you realize
bullshit.
what that means? The buckyballs were rolling inside out somehow. They hit that wall, and they turned over. Like, have you ever had one of those little balloons where you squeeze it in your hand and it goes whoosh?
It is nothing special.
Is everybody with me? That's what seems to be happening with physical matter, and I've heard that from black ops people as well. This is performed in Austria.
AMM 177.
So this little guy popped into all these waves when he hit the wall because he flipped inside out. Now, what's really interesting about the geometry that we're already showing you, like the geometry at the formation of the universe.
One comedian, I see his clips all the time. He's a friend of Joe Rogan's, and he was saying that his dad, right before he died, said, "There's something I never told you." And he thought his dad, who was on his deathbed, was going to say, tell him some kind of profound family secret or something. And his father says, "I really like a full bush, on a woman." And he was like, "Okay, all right, good to know. Thanks, Dad." Oh, that's gross.
Is that they also can do this, but they do this in a very interesting way. When these geometries flip inside out, this is the opposite that they form. So when you have the dodecahedron, it forms the icosahedron. The tetrahedron flips into another tetrahedron upside down. And then the octahedron flips over into a cube. And
what we're learning is he's just as boring 12, 13 years ago as he is right now. Talking about, it's just total, like Arlene said, it's just totally disconnected nonsense. Like, how does any of this shit fit together? It doesn't. It doesn't.
It goes back and forth between those two. Now, here's what's another very fascinating point. We've just seen how the fullerene can burst into a wave. Well, guess what? DNA is almost the same width.
You are correct,
Now, just chew on that for a second if you haven't already seen this talk. I mean, DNA is supposed to be a molecule. In fact, the amount of DNA in one cell of your body, if you spaced it out, is 5 feet long. It's 5 feet tall. So there's a lot of DNA in there. But if DNA can turn into a wave, then that opens the door to all these quantum non-locality principles. All of a sudden, that stuff becomes real. It becomes true. Well, we already have plenty of experimental evidence, and I'm just going to show you one of them right for now. This is Kazanachiev, a Russian scientist who passed a diseased cell culture through a shield here, which, when it was glass, there was no effect. Of course, the other culture was just healthy tissue.
He loves quoting these weird Russian scientists, and most of them aren't even real scientists. It's like pseudoscience garbage from conspiracy land.
But then when
You remember the guy that he said, like, turned a frog into a salamander somehow? That was a Russian scientist. Remember the guy who he talks about with the pyramid power shit? That proof that pyramid power is real? That was a fake Russian scientist. He loves fake Russian scientists.
passed through quartz, The quartz allowed the disease to be transmitted to the healthy cells here. So you have disease to healthy. Well, a virus, again, is a little tiny thing. Most viruses are shaped like geometry. I don't know if you remember that. A virus can turn into a wave. Okay? So there are some people who believe, for example, that AIDS is synthetic.
What a loser.
And that you can actually activate the dormant virus with a wave. It is important to remember that your consciousness has more power than any wave that could ever be beamed at you. So if you ever start worrying about electromagnetic mind control or all these silly things that people get focused on, that's something that you don't need to worry about.
Yeah, this is coming from the guy who's worrying about weather weapons being pointed at him right now.
Also, has anybody here done healing? Has anybody here? Okay, wow, that's more than half. Have you ever noticed how if you're with somebody and you're really empathizing with somebody who's sick, that you start feeling some of the same thing that they've got? There was a case where I had a woman, they were doing a Reiki session on her, and I was in the room, and I started to have this outrageous pain in my big toe. It turns out that she had a gangrenous foot. The exact spot on my toe that hurt was where the pain was the most strong for her.
Well, send another one.
So this is real stuff. But the thing is, when you get these energetic beamings, unlike this helpless little cell culture, your consciousness has a huge effect on what's going to happen to you. And those little health problems, they don't last very long, right? I mean, usually if you ever do healing work on somebody, just as a tip,
the blue
go and
chickens
wash your
command you to
hands
praise the cash.
from the elbows
cash.
down, because
Praise
that will
the
get
cash.
rid of this transmitted energy. Okay, it's a very effective means of doing that.
Wash your hands to get rid of sickness.
So Dewey Lawson, the physicist, revealed that time is in fact a three-dimensional domain. And this is where we're getting into the idea of what's over there on the other side when you flip over a particle and it turns into a wave. There's a three-dimensional realm where time as we know it
Moth loves to track
is spaced out.
Sending the
hell wind. Not everybody's following me on this.
And I'm sending
but we're going to go into how this works, so just stay with me.
It's all black magic.
Einstein talked about the space-time fabric. And the basic idea about gravity is that planets are like dipping down in this fabric, and then gravity is just the result of things rolling towards the planet as the fabric is displaced. Well, think about it. If this were true, and all the planets are sitting on top of this fabric, that means that only the fabric and what's above it represents the realm that we live in. But then you got this whole place on the bottom.
Does this seem familiar to anybody? Like nothing has changed in 14 years. It's like the same bunch of disconnected nonsense. And thanks to Spooky for finding this old video for me. I was kind of like, oh shit, there's not enough clips. Nelson Morales with $4.99. David's conference room, he placed mannequins. They are asleep or just died of boredom. Yeah, that sounds about right to me. But thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support.
Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your generosity. Praise the cash. Praise the cash.
Thank you very much, Nelson Morales. And now it looks like checking in with the goal. We're at 29 of 50. So if we get 21 more super chats of 5 or more, we will do the Sarah video. Not a whole Sarah video, because she's got some like 3-hour interviews in that folder that we just got from her former manager. Hey, Sarah, how does it feel that I have your whole YouTube channel and you don't? Dumb bitch. Oh, it's wonderful. Thank you, Nelson Morales, for your kindness, generosity, and support of the show. Much, much appreciated. Big ups. Let's get 20 whatever more. I don't know. Wait, let me check again. Yeah, we got to get 21 more, and we'll get to the Sarah video. David, do you hear me when I said I am going to eat you turkey? I'm going to eat your turkeys this season, right? Gemma Jackson's writing notes.
And where is that? And how do we get there? Well, the answer is you got to punch a hole through. So that's your wormhole, right? You know, the word wormhole comes from the idea of a worm burrowing through an apple. Everybody remember that? And it's like the outside of the apple is space-time. The inside of the apple, where the wormhole goes, is time-space. That's a three-dimensional realm of time. Time is not linear. It's only linear because we're stuck in space-time. So what happens is time-space is on the inside of the apple, or the donut in this case, and space-time is on the outside. But this whole system can invert so that space-time is now on the inside and time-space is on the outside. So here's the basics of it again. 3 dimensions of space and 1 dimension of time. You can move around in space, but you're fixed in time. It's moving forward like a river. When you go into time-space,
13 years ago, he loved slides.
what we would think of as time is now 3-dimensional, and what we would think of as space is now 1-dimensional. You actually move around in 3 dimensions of time. This is where we're having dreams. This is where we're having astral experiences. That's why a psychic in a particular place can actually look forward and backward in time in that location, because they're viewing through time-space. That's what your psychic...
But isn't he psychic? Couldn't he have, like, why did he marry his wife if he's psychic? This is funny to me. Like, if you're psychic, did you know Sylvia Browne had 4 husbands? She was a psychic, famous psychic. Didn't she see that coming? Same for Wilcock. You're so psychic, you didn't know that your marriage was going to end in financial disaster and horrific divorce, right?
Function is. Distance you travel in time-space is actually time travel over here. Now that sounds really far out, but yes. The bottom line is all the things that I'm telling you have been verified by multiple black ops witnesses. They've been verified by experimental secret projects and a lot of actual
verified by his
evidence that's in the public domain that we just don't normally understand what it is or why it's there.
This stuff was all verified.
The entry and exit points are very important. If you look up in these medieval texts about fairy circles and fairy rings, these are the little circles you go into where you find the fairies or the gnomes or the dwarves or the elves or whatever. Well, you don't just find them anywhere. You have to go into these circles, and you can only enter them at certain times. I was a dork back then, so
because
it has to do with a planetary alignment. You see, the Earth has naturally occurring natural stargates on them. And I know that some of you might not believe this, but there is so much evidence, and we're going to go through some of that. There are natural stargates, and you actually can time travel. So there's a very important reason why the ancients were building things like Stonehenge and the pyramids. This is not just to entertain themselves and build a tomb for the dead pharaoh.
Oh, those are
okay, it's much more than that.
Yeah.
So I read this book when I was 7 years old, and in the book we have descriptions of experiments in ESP between Harold Sherman, the author, and Sir Hubert Watkins, who was an Antarctic explorer. They documented some fantastic telepathy experiments. In one case, Sherman is sitting there in his room in L.A., and he's tuning into Watkins, and he gets this pain in his head, and it hurts a lot. And so he writes down, okay, pain in the head. When we correspond that to what Watkins' journal said at the same time, all the people in his Antarctic expedition team were bumping into this stovepipe that had fallen down with a sharp edge, and they were actually lacerating their head, the skull. Hit bleeding from that, and he was feeling the pain. Just like I said, there's an energetic transmission of the pain.
Oh, it's
well, after Watkins died, the telepathy continued because they were so much in affinity with each other that he could recognize Watkins when he spoke. So Watkins is describing in some of these readings, I guess you could call them, what it took for him to get into Sherman's mind. And he said there was a nested set of spheres that he had to go through.
It's real.
And he had to find a channel to the center to get to the message to Sherman, which was not easy. That's why they call it channeling. Because, and I didn't go into this last time, but what really appears to be happening here is everybody knows about the system of chakras, the esoteric system of chakras. The chakras are actually different levels of your soul and different levels of where your thought processes and consciousness processes are happening. So as you go through these Kundalini meditations, the idea is that you're supposed to raise the Kundalini serpent. I was shown in multiple readings that the actual process of raising that Kundalini is collapsing the chakras together into this set of nested spheres. Because when you do that, you focus everything into the one spot in your brain that we're going to go to here. So this is bringing all your chakras together and then finding that channel so that the entity that's trying to reach you or your higher self can get to the center, because the center is where all the action happens. Why is that? Well, the center of your brain has a small gland in it called the pineal gland, which, as you can see here, it was called pineal because it's shaped like a pine cone. This is the exact geometric center of your brain. It's right here. And this, as we're going to see, is very important in ancient cultures. The Sumerians gave it a description. which you can see here, the little acorns on the top of the staff that he had, and there's also a little jobber up here. And what we found out from Dan Burish is that these can be reversed. The cylinder seals can be flipped over, and when you start doing that, you see some very interesting things.
Yeah, sorry about that, friends. I don't know what happened. I just got I got de-resed from my own stream. That's weird, right? And my lights popped off. Everything froze up. I think it was a deep state attack. That's what I think. Let me take a moment to catch up with the live chat. The Sasquatch got me. Yes, Sarah's big bush has gotten Steven. No, I didn't get lost in her big bush. I apologize for that. Now I got to find the stream and where we were at with that. Just give me one moment. I'll find it in my history. Oh, geez. Yeah, and should I ever just suddenly, if I should ever suddenly not be on my own stream, it's because every once in a while we just have this weird problem. The black goo got me. Yeah. I'm just checking in to make sure I didn't miss any super chats when I de-res there. No, I think we're good. So I will. Oh, my fair use banner is already up. We'll share that again, and we'll be right back to where we were listening to nonsense from the cockhead. Cockhead. All right, let's continue. We're already 20 minutes in, and honestly, I don't know how much more we're going to do of this.
About the system of chakras, the esoteric system of chakras. The chakras are actually different levels of your soul and different levels of where your thought processes and consciousness processes are happening.
You gotta love Windows too. You know what I did?
So as you go through these Kundalini...
I started a notepad to make a note, and that crashed my whole computer. Thanks, Microsoft.
Meditations, the idea is that you're supposed to raise the Kundalini serpent. I was shown in multiple readings that the actual process of raising that Kundalini
Last minute, Lacey,
is
I'm
collapsing
okay.
the chakras together into this set of nested spheres. Because when you do that, you focus everything into the one spot in your brain that we're going to go to here. So this is bringing all your chakras together and then finding that channel so that the entity that's trying to reach you or your higher self can get to the center. Because the center is where all the action happens.
You got to get to the
Why
center.
is that?
Yeah.
Well, the center of your brain has a small gland in it called the pineal gland, which, as you can see here, it was called pineal because it's shaped like a pine cone. This is the exact geometric center of your brain. It's right here. And this, as we're going to see, is very important in ancient cultures. The Sumerians gave it a description, which you can see here, the little acorns on the top of the staff that he had. And there's also a little jobber up here.
A little jobber.
And what we found out from...
1 second. We'll take a moment to thank the kindness, generosity, and support of Don't Touch Me, I'm Crazy, who heard the call of the goal. And now we would need 19 more people to hear the call of the goal so that we could do this, do some Sarah R. Adams watch. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your generosity. And thank you for the support of the show.
Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your generosity. Praise the cash. Praise the cash.
Yes, and the Magus is here and says, watch out. They'll send you 30-mile-per-hour winds next. Them be hurricane winds. Yes, hurricane winds. Absolutely. Little Jobber is what Wilcock has named his appendage. Yes, it's the little jobber. It's the little jobber.
Dan Burrish is that these can be reversed.
He just quoted Dan Burrish, who is a complete and total fraud. The guy said he was working at Area 51, and somebody found out that while he was claiming to work at Area 51, he was actually working as a security guard at a Las Vegas hotel.
Cylinder seals can be flipped over, and when you start doing that, you see some very interesting things, like the eye in the triangle, and another eye in the triangle right here. So the Sumerians were hiding information. They were encrypting information in these seals. So this is the one we were just looking at. Here's your little pineal gland.
Even more incoherent.
And the other one up there.
You're right, the Magus.
Well, look at this. Now, if you've seen Stargate SG-1 in the first episodes, you remember the Goa'uld, the villains in Stargate? You remember how they had these helmets that went around their...
This is the comment of the night is the real Wayne says, that bitch is climbing your roof and disconnecting cables with those duck lips. Oh God, yes, she's disconnecting cables. And remember before I said that he watches Stargate SG-1 and he gets his bullshit from science fiction? Here he is directly showing the bad guy aliens from Stargate SG-1. So I'm right.
Their head that looked like a snake. That's the helmet. That's the Anunnaki. They were human-like people, but they wore these weird helmets in order to appear like gods to the primitive Sumerians they came to. And this is how they encoded the secret of what they really looked like inside this image right here. It only works when you put a mirror image on it. But then you also see he's holding all these pineal gland staffs, and he's got this seal over his head,
those are pineal
and more
gland
symbols
staffs,
here.
Not just staffs.
But it gets a lot more direct as we go on. And you're going to start wondering to yourself, why in the world are all these cultures focusing on the pine cone? This is Osiris, the lord of the underworld in Egyptian mythology. This is his staff,
they used to eat
which, as
him
we
when
now
he was
know,
a kid.
this is the raising Kundalini, the serpent.
made-up helmet
but it
is
also
real.
represents DNA. And there on the top,
You're
as
right,
the Kundalini
Storm Crow.
rises,
It was
what are they
on
looking
science
at?
fiction show,
They're
so
looking
it's
at
got
the
to be
pine
real.
cone. That's the
It's
junction
gotta be
point
real.
where all this energy comes together. Now, King Tut has this Kundalini serpent actually going through his head. That's a symbol that they gave that the pineal is fully activated, that your chakras have now all turned into that nested set of spheres, and that access from the higher realms is moving directly through your head. They believed he had that. Whether he did or not, we don't know. Here's the Babylonian god Tammuz, and as you can see, he's holding a pine cone. So once again, he's a very powerful god from that tradition, and you're seeing the same type of symbolism coming through.
Such nonsense.
Then you go over into Hinduism, the goddess Shiva, the god.
He sees pine cones in different historical depictions, and this means pineal gland. Maybe it just means that they're showing pine cones, the seed of pine trees, you know?
Of destruction, the breaking down of the old to purify the way for the new. What does her head look like? What does that hair look like? It's another pineal gland. And you've also got the redundancy with the symbol of the third eye, and you've got the serpent wrapped around her head. The same iconography once again.
King Tut,
And it's
how'd
so
you get
powerful in the
funky?
Hindu tradition that even now it's common practice to wear a symbol of the third eye on your forehead if you're a woman, and they all have these various
He's right.
divinities, as they're called.
He's
that
got
they
to
can
mix
order
in
and
Hinduism.
wear.
That's a basic
This is,
Hinduism
as
thing.
we go more into more recent gods, the god of drunkenness and revelry.
Hindu women put that red mark, right, that dot on their forehead. And I once heard a really funny joke, but it's a little off-color humor. And this was told to me by my Indian friend. I used to work with this guy, and he said, "Stephen, do you know why Indian women have that red dot right here?" And I said, "No, I don't know. Why do that? Isn't it? It's related to religion, isn't it?" He goes, "Well, some people say it's religion, but it's really because their husbands are always going, 'Why are you so fucking ugly?' Boo, 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 boo," right in the middle of their head. And that eventually they get a red mark there, you know. All right. Back to David Wilcock's terrible joke of a lecture.
Bacchus, you can see he has the goat-shaped ears here, the kind of demonic almost looking, and he also has the cloven feet. But then look at this. What's that? There it is again, huh? There's that pine cone. So once again, why do you think alcohol, hard liquor, is called spirits? Think about that for a minute. Because it opens the door to these influences. And the ancient people knew that. That's why they were called
Sarah
spirits.
Adams is trying to connect
You've ever
again.
seen people who get like completely possessed when
And
they're
she's
drunk and they
showing
just
me
seem
a
different, they
toilet
seem a lot more
flushing.
negative? Well,
That's your
negative
grifting
entities in
corner,
some
bitch.
cases seem
It's
to be able
going
to
down
grab
the
hold
toilet.
through the pineal gland. And so they knew about all this. They knew that drunkenness and revelry opened up the pineal. That's why he's got it on the top of his staff. Dionysus, who is the usher through the underworld, the usher through
Scratch it
death
off
and
see if
rebirth,
you want a 7-Eleven.
he's also got the pineal gland, the pine
Oh,
cone
that's
on his
pretty good.
staff. So there's the same message yet again.
Superhuman powers for everybody.
And here's another image of
Yes.
Dionysus with a bigger pine cone.
Booze is spirits. Yes.
Well, let's not leave out Buddhism. Check that out, right? Same exact thing once
This guy's
again. The
seeing
hair.
pine cones
That's
everywhere.
another symbol of the pineal gland. And even the fact that it looks
you're
like a
getting
pine
spirits
cone
from
with these
alcohol,
little,
you're
the way
doing
that
it
they
wrong.
braided their hair. I mean, all this was
I
done
agree.
deliberately to honor the pine cone. So then there's a quote from the Bible, "The light of the body is the eye. If therefore your eye be single, your whole body shall be full of light." That's Matthew 6:22.
Gotta
Well, that's
throw
pretty
in some
weird, huh?
Christian.
Guess how the
theology.
mainstream Bible scholars interpret this passage? I told you yesterday for those who were here. They say, well, you just have to be single-mindedly focused on God the Father as your salvation. That's why it's one eye. You just want to kind of look at him. This is a single eye, and it makes your whole body full of light. Well, the Bible says God is light,
Schizo just walks
so
around
this is
pointing
what's going
pine
on.
cones out to
It's
everyone.
your hyperdimensional gateway. The third eye, yeah.
So now what?
But surely we
pine
say,
cones,
you know,
pineal
even
glands.
though
Yes.
maybe a Bible passage could be interpreted a certain way, it might not mean anything, probably doesn't mean anything. Surely the Vatican wouldn't follow something like this. That'd be silly.
We
There's
got to
never
get to
any,
the goal
any
first, Jello
public
Putin.
acknowledgement
You
of
can
it, or
drop,
do they?
Let's see.
Well, check this out.
19
This is
more
the
super
Vatican
chats,
Square,
and we'll do the
and
Sarah
this is
video.
a gigantic statue of a pine cone. It's the largest statue in the Vatican, anywhere
David got
outside,
his
except for this
grifted,
little
ill
ball
gotten
over here,
gains
which we're going to look
stolen.
at closer in
Suffolk
just a
karma?
second.
Yeah.
Notice the peacocks, which have a very kind of Egyptian feeling to them, like the ibis.
Ask Sarah
right?
to
The
open a
Egyptian ibis
Stargate
is a
on
very
your
similar
internet
type
and
of
see if
bird.
your stream goes
And what's
off.
this all about? What's that look
Maybe
like
that's
to
what
you?
happened, right?
Aha, that's an open sarcophagus, just like in the King's Chamber or the Great Pyramid. What does the open sarcophagus symbolize in the Great Pyramid?
Well, that's weird, Richard Warner.
No more death. The transition into spiritual life.
No,
okay?
this is old. This is pre-2012. We're listening to an
this
old
all has
lecture
to
of
do
his
with-
that was
I'm
right
gonna start
before
walking a little
2012,
bit.
So.
This all has to do with the knowledge of the higher forces, sacred geometry. All this stuff focuses on the pineal gland, the pine cone.
So, Alpin, I agree. Absolutely. It's puffing
now,
time.
What do they call this actual part of the Vatican? They call it the Court of the Pine Cone. Okay? How weird is that? But I want to take a look at that little ball, so let's go in closer on it. There it is. That's huge.
Does
That's
anybody
huge.
else think he stuffs pine cones in
And
his
what's all
ass?
this? This is like Greek columns, and
He's
then
a little
you get
obsessed
your
with these
saints on the
pine
top of the
cones.
columns here. And here you have, I guess that's
He's
called the
using
Basilica over there.
She's using the Stargate
But
plan
you've got this
to
gigantic
call
ball,
with
much
AT&T.
bigger than anything else, and it's mirror polished. Well, that again is a symbol of divinity and the Creator. Okay?
I can't take much more of this guy.
Well, there's the pine cone, and here's a guy. Look at that. I mean, a man is not even tall enough to reach the bottom of the pedestal of this pine cone.
So I don't know. I just wanted to play this tonight to show you guys. He's been connecting disconnected nonsense for decades now. And can you believe that people pay money to hear him do these lectures? Like big bucks. You know what it costs to go to Contact in the Desert? It's pretty expensive, you know? I don't get it. I think we're gonna call it there. And it's okay that we didn't hit our goal. We came very close. We got a bunch of gifted memberships. I'll check in with the Kick chat one more time. And we invite you to check out our new Kick channel, kick.com/Truth Seekers Show. Let's get over to our dashboard over there and check. For those unaware, we read every single super chat. And Ricky Sauce just followed this channel. And then Winter Soldier gifted a sub. For tonight, we've got one gifted sub. So we thank you, Winter's Soldier, for your kindness, your generosity, and your support of the show. It is much, much appreciated. Yeah, we're gonna wrap things up here. David Wilcock is so boring lately. I can't even make a show out of his stream. All he did was like circle jerk himself off, like, oh, pyramid power, oh, pyramid power, pyramid power. Tomorrow night I will be back at, I'm not sure what time, either 7 or 8 p.m. though. Follow me. Be sure to follow me on X or Twitter. It's just my name right there, at Stephen Cambion. Be sure to check out our website, truthseekershow.com, and from there you can get all the latest episodes of Truth Seekers, whether you want the video version or the audio version. But please note, you don't need to message me if the audio episodes are behind. They're always behind. It's something I do whenever I have time during the week. I think I have 4 now that I have to upload. Last week's 2 shows and this week's 2 shows so far. Maybe I'll work on that tonight for the benefit of you audio listeners. And if you are an audio listener, we love and appreciate you, but please do go on over to YouTube, put Truth Seekers, one word, in the search bar. You'll see me, a strange guy with sunglasses, pop up. Go to that channel, smash the subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and come and be a part of the live chats and live taping for the podcast. You are most welcome. We want to thank you, kind and generous benefactors, you super chat people, you Patreon supporters, you YouTube channel members, super stickers, super thanks, you PayPal pledgers, you Kick subscribers, Kick gifting, people gifting Kick subscribers, people gifting YouTube channel memberships. And we also want to thank David B. For a kind and generous PayPal pledge of $10 from David B. And he just says, hey, Stephen, a long overdue contribution. Well, we'll take it. And not only will we take it, but we'll give a big praise to cash thank you to all of you kind and generous benefactors, including you over there, Winter Soldier, who gifted that Kick sub today. All the people who gifted the channel memberships today, all you super chatters. And remember, there's also super thanks. Even if you're watching a replay, you can hit that thanks button and throw a couple bucks in our hat. I always personally give a message and thank in the comments everybody who sends a super thanks. So thanks to all of you for helping us tonight to praise the cash.
Praise the cash, praise the cash, praise the cash. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your generosity. Praise the cash, praise the cash.
All right. And so I will be back tomorrow night with another Dark Side Phil pig roast. He is just losing it. Actually, I'll give you a little preview for tomorrow. If I go over to my Twitter, I think I have been retweeting some of the nonsense. It's just incredible. He is losing his mind. He just called the Keno Casino boys lazy because they don't stream as much as him or something like that. Let's give you a little preview of tomorrow night. He is losing his goddamn mind, and I'm here for it. He's losing his mind, literally. Here we go. Let's take a listen. Riveting content.
All right, it's this simple. All right? Half the people in the kick chat are trolls. All right? They're all remnants of the casino. And they're all sitting there saying fucked up stuff. They are. They're saying, oh, you can't make money on gaming. Ha ha. You only made $9 an hour. Ha ha.
Somebody calculated one of his recent days that he only made $9 an hour. But that was $9 an hour gross. After he pays YouTube the 30%, then he has to pay taxes, which is like 20%. So he's losing 50% of that $9 an hour. He's making $4.50 an hour. He's not even making minimum wage doing his show.
So fuck them. Seriously, right now, fuck those motherfuckers. Let's rally right now. And by the end of this stream, let's show them that actual gameplay, that positive content, that not having to constantly shit on others to get ahead. You can still make a living and you can still promote positivity on the internet.
He's promoting positivity by begging for money every day.
I wouldn't say that, but I've had enough of their fucking mouths today. You know, they're actually starting to really piss me off with their toxicity and nonsense because they think that because some fat fuck and some fucking degenerate on drugs are running around making fun of people every day, that for some reason that gameplay isn't valid. How about you kiss my fucking ass and you lick my fucking balls? You fucking dumb little no-life pieces of shit. I'm gonna fucking be successful no matter what.
No matter what.
You guys can go fuck yourselves. And now I die.
And then he gets killed in the game right as he's ranting. What a loser. What a loser.
All right.
What a loser. So Phil is seething because he hasn't been hitting his goal. All the Keno supporters left him. They're not paying anymore. He's really down to like just a few people that are giving him money. And I predict that he's not going to be able to keep this up. A couple more weeks and he's going to be fucking broke and begging like even more so than he usually does. Yeah, Sightings on 18 Wheel says, why can't he just get a job? He hasn't had a real job in 17 years. He just begs. He plays video games. And he plays children's wrestling games and he begs for money on the internet, right? I bet he never fired a real gun. I would bet too. He seems kind of like a pussy to me. Like, I don't think he's a gun dude or even has any friends that are gun dudes. He doesn't have any friends. He's a loser. So anyway, a little preview for tomorrow. So we'll be back with another Dark Side Phil pig roast. I've got some extra special stuff planned for this one. Some new videos never before seen, some great videos from the detractor community. It's going to be a fun night. So yeah, that's all I got for you. So I'll be back tomorrow night. I think probably 7 p.m. as usual. I like the earlier slot time. We used to go at 9 p.m., but then, you know, I was having trouble getting up. If I ever had a night morning like today, my children, one of them had a half day. It's like a nightmare to get up when I would start at 9 because sometimes the shows wouldn't get done till 2, 3 a.m. It takes a couple hours to just relax and, you know, decompress from the show. I much prefer the earlier showtime. And so far, I've got a lot of feedback that you guys prefer the earlier showtime as well. So most likely I'll be back tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. No place I'd rather be. Hope that you will be here with us. So that's all I got for you, friends. Until next time, my name is Stephen Cambion. Good night, and God bless all of you.
Dark corners of the night, secrets hidden from the light. Whispers turn to screams, shattering all your dreams. Eyes wide open now,